Well, that's great. Today we're going to talk about how much room you need for chickens. Can you raise chickens in a small space? How much space is required? We're going to get into all that. But since it's such a beautiful day, look at that sky. Beautiful day. It's about 65, 70 degrees in West Tennessee. Clear blue spring day. Beautiful. And I want to bring you guys along as I do some chores. And we're going to talk about how much room you need for chickens. Stay tuned. First chore I need to get done today is these guys need to get moved before they so I already got a couple of flyaways, but these guys need to get moved so we can clean out their bedding. They are getting close to going out into the little chicken tractor. That would take my hand. Let me grab these two little stowaways here before they get away. This is real life. Come here. Get in there. Come here. Come on. Oh. Nope. Don't go in there. Don't get under there. There we go. See there? Was that really that difficult? Was that really that difficult? Alright, so I'm going to put this screen over there because I know what's going to happen. They're going to jump out. Take their little heater out. So the topic of the day is how much room do you need to raise chickens? So it's really a very difficult question to answer because there's a lot of variables there. How are you going to house them? Are you going to have them free range? Or can you have them in a chicken tractor? Are you going to have them in a coop and run situation? So we're going to look at every one of those situations and talk about how much room you're going to need. I'm going to dump this box in the garden and I'll be right back. So these chicks are 5 weeks old, and they are very soon going to be moving out into our little grower tractor, and so they'll be out on the they'll be out on the grass here pretty soon. They're getting really too big for this box. Kind of have to start to keep something over top of it, a screen over top, so they don't fly out. But this box is not going to be empty for long because we have one batch of eggs that is due to hatch 2 days from today. Today is Saturday, so Monday, I do believe. And then we'll have some that are due to hatch 10 days after Monday because we started them 10 days behind. So this box is going to be full of chickens again very soon, but we're going to put these back in here for a few days. And we're going to start to harden them off. We're going to take the heater out. They're in the shed, protected from the wind. Weather's not going to be real cold. If it gets real cold, we'll put the heater in here. But we're going to try to harden them off, get them used to being outside. Bonus tip for you: when these chicks begin to get a little bit older, like this, they tend to make a mess with the feed. They tend to get the shavings in their water. So what I do is I build a little platform out of scrap wood and put their drinkers, put their waters and their feeders on top of the little platform. That way they don't get as much shavings in them. And these, I'm going to clean these out a little bit later. We're ready to get these chicks back in here. So back to the topic of the day, guys. How much room do you need? And I'm going to use the screen because I can already tell they're going to try to jailbreak on it. So, topic of the day: how much room do you need to raise chickens? And like I said, it really depends on how you're going to do it. If you're going to use a tractor, or if you're going to be free ranging them and putting them up at night, or if you're going to be in a traditional coop and run situation. So let's start with the easiest one to answer, and that is the coop and run situation. Let's say, you got a batch of chicks, maybe this age, you bought a batch of chicks this year, and you're looking for some way to house them. A lot of people are going to start out with a little small chicken coop from Amazon or from Tractor Supply that's got a little run in the bottom of it. If you're using just a basic chicken coop and run situation with the coop maybe above and the run below, you need to plan on about at least 5 square feet per chicken, preferably even more, maybe up to 8, and that is for average size chickens. If you're raising larger breeds, heavy breeds, you might want to go a little bit bigger. So if you're starting out with 4 hens in a traditional coop and run situation, you're going to want a minimum of 20 square feet. That'll be your minimum. Optimum is going to be more in the range of about 32 square feet. Now it's time to clean the egg mobile. Let me get set up and we'll get it cleaned out. So this is our egg mobile. As you can see, it's built on an old repurposed boat trailer so that we can roll it around when we need to. I got to get some more wheels. I put foam in these wheels thinking that would suffice because these wheels were rotten, but the weight of the coop just flattens out the wheels. So I've got to get some new wheels for that. What's the important thing to remember when you're cleaning out your chicken coop is use the right tools. In this instance, I'm using a hoe. It'll get the job done. So on the front of our egg mobile, we have an automatic door for the chickens to go in and out. And on the back, we have a manual door for us humans to get in here when we need to clean. And we need to clean. We'll pull our nesting boxes out. I got 2 eggs this morning already. I'm rich. Set those to the side. We in our egg mobile we use old hay as bedding. Not because that's the best thing to use, but we just have a lot of it. So the next scenario to look at, and I'm going to stand up so I don't get this all over my neighbor's target shooting. So the next situation, we're going to talk about what we're doing here, free ranging our chickens, or modified free ranging, where you use a small coop for them to go in at night. My neighbor's target shooting. Use a small coop for them to go into at night, and during the day they roam wherever they please within a fenced area. Your coop only needs to be big enough to have enough roosting space for all of your chickens. Now we have roosting poles in here, and on each side, realistically, without a lot of trouble, we could probably fit about 10 chickens on each side. But because our chickens don't live in here, you don't need the 5 square feet, because they're just sleeping in here. So it's like their bedroom. So you can get away with a whole lot less room. And all of this right here, this is our garden. That's where our chickens are right now. They're in our garden spot. And so you think, why is he just raking that on the ground? This is free fertilizer. Have you priced fertilizer lately? It's not cheap. This is free. And it's time to break down before we plant anything so it doesn't burn anything. Now it's time to put some fresh bedding down. Some not so fresh hay. Always trying to steal the show. So the good thing about dealing with chickens is you don't have to worry about spreading this bedding out nice and even. You just throw it in there, the chickens will take care of that themselves. There it is. There's the roosting pole. There's a little eggmobile. I'm gonna put these 2 eggs back in here because I didn't bring the basket with me. When you're dealing with a free range situation, you can get by with a lot less space than your coop because it's just essentially a bedroom. They just essentially need enough space to be able to roost at night. So the third scenario is one of my favorites because it's really kind of where we got our start raising chickens, and that is raising chickens in a chicken tractor. A chicken tractor is simply a small pen on wheels that has no floor, that is moved every day to a new spot in the grass so that the chickens have access to fresh grass every day. They're not on the same piece of ground day in and day out. So a tractor, it's kind of a hybrid of the other scenarios because they are in a confined space, but the confined space is moved every day. The benefits of being on pasture without the danger of predation. It's easier to keep them away from predators in a chicken tractor. I would recommend about 4 to 5 square feet per bird. So our grow out pen that we use, it's basically a chicken tractor. We mainly use it for chicks that are a little bit too old to be in the brooder and a little bit too young to be with the adult birds. But ours is about 32 square feet, which means we could have about comfortably have about 8 birds in there, 8 adult birds in there. Now we've had quite a few more juvenile birds in there at a time, but about 8 adult birds would be just fine in there. Maybe a touch crowded, but they would be okay because they're being moved on a daily basis, so they would have access fresh around. They're not sitting in they're not bedding down in their own feces and that kind of thing. It's all fresh and clean each and every day. So just kind of recap, if you're going with a coop and run situation, 8 square foot per bird is ideal. If you're free ranging, you really just need enough space for your chickens to be able to have a spot to roost. Literally a couple of square foot would be plenty because you just need a place for them to sleep. It's just a bedroom essentially. So we have our 10 chickens right now and 160 feet of premier poultry netting, and that is ample amount of room, more than enough room for them. So guys, if this video has been helpful to you, leave it down below in the comments. We respond to every comment that you leave on our channel, and we love to hear from all our subscribers and our viewers. Thank you so much, guys, and I'll see you on the next one.